Okay, so we've got git bash installed. We've got our nice terminal here. So later on, we're going to set up git version control, the actual version control part itself. But before we do that, I'm going to create an SSH key. So an SSH key is important for a couple of different reasons. Rails, I think, at least identifies it and maybe uses it. But more importantly, GitHub uses it and Heroku uses it. So GitHub is where we're going to push our Git code. So our Git repository will be on GitHub. And that's important to have your code like off-site on a third-party website in case your house burns down, in case your computer dies, whatever. So that's sort of, standard practice. I'm sure you're aware of GitHub and probably have used it in the past. It needs an SSH key in order to sort of connect securely with our computer and identify that you're the correct person pushing code. Also Heroku, when we push our website up to Heroku for our professional web hosting, production quality development environment, production quality environments, it requires an SSH key as well. So the first thing we need to do is I'm just going to make sure we're in the right directory, and we are. This is our default directory, C users flat planet, and yours is going to be whatever your computer is called. So the first thing we need to do is create a directory where our SSH key will sit. So the command is mkdir and then .ssh, and the dot makes it a hidden directory. So it's just the convention to hide this directory, and you can still see it if you type in a special command, but for the most part, it'll be hidden. So mkdir.ssh, hit enter, and now we need to move into that directory. So we need to change directory .ssh. Now we can go pwd just to make sure, yes, we are in this correct directory. So now we just need to generate our key. And it used to be a hassle to do that, but now it's really easy because this git bash terminal we have comes with a key generator. So you used to have to download like putty and do a whole bunch of stuff, and it was just a hassle. Now all we have to do is type in ssh-keygen.exe, and it's generating a public and a private key. And it's asking now to pick the directory, can't talk today, where we want to save this, and we just want to save it in this directory, so hit enter. And now it's asking for a password, and I don't think you really need to create a password here, so you can leave this blank if you really want to, just hit enter, but I'm going to go ahead and type in a password. Remember that password because GitHub is going to ask you for it later on, so type it in again, and boom, it's done. So now if we clear the screen and then list all the stuff in this directory, you can see we have two files, id_rsa and id_rsa.pub. This is the public key, this is the private key. And it's this public key that we want to use. It's the one that GitHub and Heroku and anybody else is ever going to want to see. So we can actually look at it. We could type in cat, and then, well, first let's go pwd to make sure we're in the right place, and then cat, and then just type in this directory, users flat planet.ssh, and then the name of that file, id_rsa.pub. And boom, there it is. It prints it out. This whole thing is our SSH key. And later on, we'll run that command again and then copy all of this and then paste it over at GitHub. But for now, we can just kind of look at it to make sure that we've done it correctly. And it's a bunch of gobbledygook. It doesn't make any sense. Looks weird, but that's exactly what it should be. And so it's a success. So we're pretty much done now installing all the little things we need to install before we install Rails. Still a couple of things we're going to have to install later on, like the Heroku tool belt and things like that. But for now, we're good to go. In the next video, we're going to jump in and start installing Rails.